Hi everyone, my name is Tara MILHEM and I am part of the NHM 491 course, and I decided to do my experience at the wonderful Carrie Glassman's Nutritious Life, which I'll get into in just a moment. So basically this is me. My name is Tara. I'm 20 years old. I live in New York. I'm originally from Miami and I'm Brazilian and Turkish. I am also, in addition to studying to be a registered dietitian, I'm a yoga instructor and a very passionate health nut with an entire blog dedicated to it called Skinny by Tara. But now, so I want to tell you about the facility that I did my supervised practice at, and that's Carrie Glassman's Nutritious Life. This is Carrie right here, and you've probably seen her before because she is a celebrity nutritionist, a registered dietitian, healthy cooking expert, and she's a published author, which in the next slide you'll get to see some of her books. So basically in the Carrie Glassman Nutritious Life practice, there are 6 RDs, 5 that practice under Carrie, and we are all located in the New York City office on Lexington Avenue and 40th Street, right in Midtown. So this is Carrie again, and she's really the most amazing and inspiring preceptor. And I chose her because having seen her on TV and having seen all her books and read all of her books and followed her religiously, I thought it would be like a dream come true to actually be able to talk to her and work with her. And funny enough, she had followed me on Instagram and Facebook, and she was following all of my updates and posts and everything, and I was so starstruck, and I ended up reaching out to her, and we decided to do this together. So she's on the Today Show, Dr. Oz, Rachel Ray, Steve Harvey, CNN, and a whole bunch of other avenues. She's also the nutrition health editor for Women's Health magazine, and she has 4 books of her own, and that's the Snack Factor diet right here, the O2 diet, Slim Calm Sexy diet, and the New You and Improved diet. And she is, like I said, featured regularly on television shows and radio interviews, Martha Stewart, and all of that type of stuff. So she's really inspiring and amazing to work for. The purpose of my 491 experience could be a little bit different from the other students, but it's basically hands-on experience with the clients, like it was required in our objectives. Excuse me. I also got exposure to the clinical aspect as well as everything communications and media for Carrie. So aside from sitting in on client assessments, conducting client assessments, writing up meal plans, we were also, as part of her team, working on all of the different blog posts and websites that she contributes to. She has a certain number of posts required each month, so I personally did posts for Women's Health magazine, livestrong.com, and sheknows.com. So really great avenues. And I also got to build a list of professional contacts in the industry. Carrie sent me out a few times on different projects, like I'll explain in one of my slides here, an Objective 1, where I was able to make a whole great list of professional contacts in nutrition, product development, and that type of thing. I also got to see how a private nutrition practice is run from the internal side. So working at the front desk, which was one of my objectives, I got to really get hands-on experience of seeing what happens behind the closed doors and how it works behind the desk and what happens when clients come in and that type of thing. So now I'm going to get into my objectives and exactly what I had to do for them, the skills I acquired, and how it was evaluated. So the first objective was for us to make a minimum of 2 presentations during the professional study. My first presentation was on the top snacks from the Fancy Food Show. I actually got to visit the Summer Fancy Food Show, which was located right in New York City, on my second day working with Carrie. She decided to send me out so I could attend the show and report different trends in the food industry, healthy snacks that we could recommend to clients, innovative snacks on the market, business contacts for Carrie, and products to promote or sponsor. So I had tons of fun tasting products and bringing all these samples back to the office for us to do together. And I also gathered information on the new trends and brands and samples for Carrie and the rest of the team. Another one of my jobs at the show was to find different brands that I could see Carrie collaborating with in the future. And here are two of the brands that I actually listed, and that's the Real Sticks turkey sticks, which are so incredible and so clean, and Good Pop, which is strawberry lemonade and a whole bunch of different other non-GMO, organic, all-natural fruit pops. So really delicious. And my second presentation for the study was on 5 fun ways to stay hydrated this summer for sheknows.com, which is a women's lifestyle platform with a whole panel of experts, and Carrie happens to be one of those experts, so I got to write some posts on her behalf, and I got to research the topic and use my preceptor's existing database of books that she's written, like I showed in the previous slide, and her Google Drive, which has so much information on things that she's written in the past and her thoughts on the topic. I also formulated the presentation and sourced the images. So, how do you stay hydrated during the summer? Well, flavored waters, smoothie bites, green juices, oatmeal breakfast bowls, and summer soups. You can watch my presentation for details, but here are 2 of those slides in the presentation, and that's flavored waters and smoothie bites. The second objective was for me to conduct at least 4 assessments per week during the professional study. So I attached here a photo of one of the client meal plans that I developed for a client that I worked with, and some things that I got to do under conducting client assessments was I got to get to know the patients and fill out the intake forms for them, record their medical history, conduct a 24-hour diet recall, take their measurements, write PES statements, and formulate meal plans. So here is one of the client meal plans that I did. I've included 3 options for the client so they don't feel indebted to one thing, and I've included breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. So I'll just run through a little basic thing of what I've learned, and we can look at, for example, a breakfast. So a yogurt, chia seeds, and a grapefruit. I chose the yogurt because the yogurt is dairy and protein, and the chia seeds for a fat with added protein and fiber, and the grapefruit to get your grapefruit fix in. And then, for example, for lunch, I did roasted quinoa, cooked quinoa, which would be the grain slash protein. It also has protein, but it acts more as a grain, even though it's technically a seed. Roasted vegetables, and a tuna steak, which I thought was very balanced and included a lot of the food groups. And then for dinner, I allotted the client a small or half of a large baked sweet potato, a green salad, which I did outline in the actual meal plan, the recipe for that, and 4 to 6 ounces of grilled chicken or lean protein. And then for a snack, I only listed 1 snack here, but they are allotted 2 snacks per day, and that would be carrot sticks, 2 tablespoons of hummus, and green tea. So that's just a little example. Now, the third objective is that I got to work on the development of Carrie's Nutrition School program and take part in the focus group during my professional study. So Carrie has developed a school called the Nutrition School, and basically you get a Nutritious Life certification after taking the course. And here's a little clip from one of her videos. She's really incredible, like I said. So basically I help market the program through email and creating email campaigns. I got to watch all 12 webinars and take all 12 quizzes. I got to take part in a focus group where I spoke to Carrie and the rest of the team and voiced my own opinions on the course, being that I am a nutrition student and I would be someone who would typically purchase the course. So it was very important for her to hear my feedback. I also reviewed student applications for students applying and answered client questions regarding the nutrition school. So a lot of clients, or even people who saw this program online, would call and ask all their questions. So I got to take part in that. The fourth objective is that what I will contribute at least 5 hours to working at the front desk of the office during my study. So here's a little snippet picture of the office. The front desk is right over to the left. And I was responsible for opening up the practice, taking the phones off of night, operating the desktop computer scheduling system for the dietitians and Carrie. I get to use the Google Drive that stores all the information of the dietitians. And then, of course, the regular run-of-the-mill type of administrative work, which is answering the phones, greeting clients upon entering, offering them tea or water. Also dealing with the post office people, accepting mail and packages, and taking messages for the RDs when people call, managing scheduling. So if Carrie would have a radio show with Martha Stewart and then an interview for Real Simple Magazine, I wanted to be able to do that where she doesn't have to be back to back, she has time to have lunch, so it was really important to get the scheduling in right. And I also got to deal front of house with clients, so when they would come in and inviting them to take a seat. So the fifth objective was student will write, design, and conceptualize 2 nutrition education handouts. Here's one of the handouts that I designed, and this is just the first page. But basically the dietitians in the office kind of evaluated and looked through like the handouts that they did not need anymore or were really outdated, and they made a list in our Google Drive with the topics that they felt they needed a new handout for. So I chose 4 of those topics and created handouts. I researched the topic and I was able to turn the scientific information that I researched, like using the manual and previous preceptors' books and other things that I mentioned in the reference list, and making it into easy to read content for people who maybe aren't into science or don't care or know about the technical part, but they just kind of want the straightforward facts. I also designed the handout to make it more pleasing aesthetically to look at and interesting for the client to even glance at. The topics that I chose were all about alcohol, October seasonal recipes, conscious eating at social occasions, and artificial sweeteners and sugar substitutes. Now are my final thoughts on the program. So basically, I am so appreciative and I have so much gratitude for the dietitians welcoming me into their office with open arms and open hands and really willing to help. Anything I asked for, they were there. If I needed to see a client that day, they would make it happen. And I'm so respectful towards these dietitians because I see the hard work that they put in day to day, and while maybe people don't think it's that hard of work or it's easy, it's just food, it's really not, and they work hard to make their clients as happy as possible. This really was such an incredible experience, and I was so blessed to work side by side to some of the biggest names in the nutritionist game, and I really felt they're so highly skilled, knowledgeable, and it was a very humbling experience, and I hope that one day I have interns that I get to teach and mentor as well. It also really changed my outlook on nutrition and brought me back to the reason that I started getting into health and nutrition in the first place, which is to inspire, empower, and of course spread the knowledge of good health. But something major that happened for me was that I didn't know if I wanted to do the dietetic internship before doing this, and then after sitting in with patients and really getting that hands-on experience, I